a little tutorial on Lab 16, which is going to be exploring the Stroop effect. If you read the document that I included in the lab, you'll see the Stroop effect, a classic experiment in psychology that really highlights the effect of particular stimuli on our ability to process information. And so we're going to be examining that from a biophysiological um, perspective, a psychophysiological perspective, because that impact of stimuli upon our performance impacts us physiologically. We experience changes in our heart rate, and we're introducing the concept of the galvanic skin response, which is a measure of stress that is essentially it's the electrical conductivity of the surface of your skin. When you're nervous or when you're pressured or under stress, you tend to perspire more, and the moisture on your skin increases the electrical conductivity of your skin. So if you pass a small electrical charge from one place to the next, you'll be able to measure that speed, and it's a measure of how stressed that person is. Now, in the screen here, you see I'm in a small window. We have LabScribe here has been set up to do the Stroop effect. And so what I wanted to show you here was these little devices here that we're going to set up. So right here, this is the heart rate and pulse monitor. And the white surface, I'm going to use my left hand here, is placed upon the pad of your finger, of your middle finger, and you take the Velcro strap and you go right around it, like that. Just nice and snug, not tight, you know. You should actually be able to kind of sense your heartbeat on it a little bit, you know, snug enough that you can do that. You can sense it. Now that's going to be sending two measures. It's going to be sending your heart rate and also your pulse in terms of the electrical activity. So that's going to be on your middle finger. Now the other electrodes, some kits come with a separate set of electrodes specifically for GSR. And the one that I'm using right now did not, so I'm using some of the regular electrodes that we have. Both are plugged into the iWire B3G. And I think I can maybe bring that around. This thing right here. You can see the wires are connected. I'm all discombobulated here with all these wires all over the place. And I've just used some regular electrodes. And because I'm using the regular electrodes, they don't have the little Velcro straps built into them. So I've had to use the little sticky pads that come in the kit. So for these, I'm going to place the gel part of the electrode on my index and ring finger, right on where the fingerprint is, kind of right there. And then I wrap it around my finger. Way better with the ones that are made for this because they strap on just like this one. And that's nice and snug. I'm going to take the other one. The colors of these, by the way, don't matter. They're all the same. They matter when we do other experiments, but not for this one. So I have these both hooked up, and see the final product here is my middle finger is measuring my pulse. And what these two are going to do when we're experimenting is going to measure the electrical conductivity. One of these is going to send an electrical impulse, and it's going to time how long that electrical impulse lasts before it gets to this one. And that timing, if it's really high, if it takes a long time, that means it's dry and I'm not stressed. The measure you get, though, is a degree of electrical conductivity. So as electrical conductivity increases because your moisture and this speed increases, that rate goes up. And so you'll be measuring higher GSR scores means that you have more stress associated with that. So we look at the screen here, we see the top is going to give us our pulse. The middle is going to be the GSR, and the heart rate's going to be on the bottom. Now I'm having you do 4 different trials and exposing your subject or yourself to 4 different Stroop conditions. The first one is you're going to be reading the list of words, and the words are just printed in black. They're names of colors, but all the words are in black. The next one, the words are colored differently, but you just read the words. The color may be a little bit of a distraction. That's sort of what that's measuring. The next trial that you're going to be doing, next task, is going to be, there's X's in there, and you name the color that's there. And then finally, and this is where you'll see the Stroop effect, in that last one, you see a number of words. The words are of colors, but the color of the word does not match the word. So you might see the word red, but the word red is colored green. Your task is to say the color of the word. So you see the word red as colored green. Your response is green. And what we're going to be measuring each time you do this, you're going to press record, and then you read through the words, and you know, quickly, as quickly as you can. You read through the words, and then you stop recording at the end of that. Then you're going to get all your measures from that task. Then you're going to switch to the next task, and you're going to start recording again, and then you're going to measure all of the physiological responses for each one of those tasks. And then you're going to look at those numbers, read up a little bit about the Stroop effect, and then write an essay on it as to what you found. Now, let's take a look at the interface here. I'm going to disappear. I select LabScribe, and this is all set up here. So you see Stroop effect thing here, and I'm going to get my list. Here I can find the list. I think it's in the lab itself. You see, you have this in a different format. There's a list right there. Okay, and I'm going to read for you. I'm going to conduct the test right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start recording, and I'm going to read that first list, and then I'm going to show you how to get all the different data to fill out the table. For that, I don't have to do the rest of them. You just do the same thing on those. So as I go into here, I'm hoping this works. Here's my list, and I'm going to start recording now. And you'll see there's recordings up on the top. You see my pulse. See the GSR is kind of like off the screen right now, and you see my heart rate. So obviously you wouldn't be talking during this time, you'd be reading that list. So I'm going to go ahead and read the list. So here we have, as fast as I can, blue, green, red, blue, green, black, blue, green, black, blue, green, red, green, red. Stop. And so here we have our record. Right here, you can scroll back and forth. Here we have my pulse. We're not actually going to be taking any measures from there. That's just an automatic part of using that device. We have, looks like we don't have a record there for GSR, but if you press this the little magnifying glass with the arrows in the middle, we see there it is. And there we see that's my GSR. And then this right here on the bottom, this is my heart rate. And you can see that it's constantly changing. So to get the measures that we want the minimum, the maximum, the mean, and then we want the min minus the maximum minus the min to see the difference that occurred. And where you find those, here's my cursor, you go over to the right. Let's say we're going to get those statistics for GSR. We click over here, and it allows me to select what do I want to see. Do I want to see, you know, this is the little red lines. I can see where those are if I want to measure that. I can see the difference between those lines. We've used those red lines to do reaction time. But I want the max. I mean, what was my max GSR? So I click that, and it's 472.492. That's my max. Now I want my minimum was 472.354. My mean over the entire time was 472.432. You see there's very small differences here. And then the difference between my maximum and my minimum was 0.143. So those are the statistics that you want to get for your GSR. We go down here to heart rate, and we can get our maximum heart rate, 71, minimum heart rate, 70. I really should be in much better shape than that. Have the mean heart rate through the entire trial, and then we have the difference between the maximum heart rate and the minimum heart rate was 1.253. So that was the range of my heart rates through that entire trial. So what I want you to do at this point, I mean, I've done this. You see how the data happens in here. I'm still hooked up. I would then move on to the next task, which would be reading the words, but they're colored. And then the third task and the fourth task. Now you're going to save this file and then send it to me as part of the assignment. So you're going to be sending 2 files to the Dropbox. And hopefully that will work. If not, you can actually combine them as PDFs. You can make PDFs in both of them and open up your PDF and combine them. You can actually take 2 documents and combine them in their PDF. So that's, if you need to do that, that's great. Good task for all of your classes to be able to do that. So I should be getting 2 files from you. I'll get a file that has the table and your essay explaining your findings, and I'm going to get the file that you save out of here. So let's look back up here. I would go to the save, and I would save that file and send that to me. That's a data file. I can actually, with that file, I can open it in LabScribe myself, and I can actually see your data. So it's kind of a neat way for you to send me your data so I can actually look at it in LabScribe. So I hope this has been helpful. This will help you put that lab together. Again, you're doing 4 tasks, doing the same measures, filling out that table. Do some research on Stroop effect and its effect on our processing and its effect on our physiology when we're under stress and we're trying to accomplish a task fast and it's making our brains work harder and all that. And I think you'll be able to put a good essay to make that connection between the physiological response and our actual performance. So I look forward to receiving your assignment.